Lieutenant, we are going live on YouTube and recording.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, how are you?
Good.
Hi, Commissioner Farrow.
Hey, how are you?
Good evening, everyone. Commissioners, Lieutenant, Sergeant, guests, Chair.
How are you, Anna?
I'm good, thank you.
Good. Lieutenant, did Tom Lyon say you was running late?
Yes, just a few minutes.
Okay.
From Christie, also for the 135th. Woman Maria Valle.
Commissioner Roach, we do have a quorum.
Okay. It's 6:05, so let's get started. I'm going to call this regular board meeting of the Board of Police Commissioners to order, and roll call of commissioners. Cruz,
Here.
Diaz,
Here.
Farrow,
Here.
and Commissioner Roach is here. We're expecting Commissioner Lyon shortly. At this time, please observe a moment of silence for retired Officer George W. Zwally, who passed away on Wednesday, May 19th. Thank you. Next item on the agenda is the acceptance of the minutes of the regular board meeting held on May 18th, 2021.
I'm
There's a motion to accept. Is there a second?
I heard two people talking.
I
don't know
heard
if it
two
was
people make a
Commissioner-
motion. Okay.
Yeah.
Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Are there any
Aye.
opposed? Those minutes are accepted. Next is the acceptance of the minutes from the special meeting held on June 8th. Is there a motion to accept?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Are there any opposed? Those meetings are accepted as well. Next up is the report from the Chief of Police. Chief Garcia, good evening.
Good evening, all. Hope
Good
everyone
evening,
is
Chief.
doing well. Good evening. So we have had the change in weather, and we have had, obviously, as we all know, an uptick in violent incidents throughout the city. I do want to ascertain and confirm that we are actively working on getting the parties off the street that are involved in shootings, that are involved in illegal gun discharges. And our Detective Bureau is working endlessly on the homicides that we have had. Unfortunately, we are seeing an uptick in violent crimes involving firearms throughout the nation. I believe I had stated that last month as well. But my concern primarily is the city of Bridgeport, as we have a responsibility to the community and to our officers as well. I will tell you that as of this year, we've had 7 homicides, including the one that did happen last night. We have had an uptick in shots fired throughout the city. But we have had our task force officers working diligently on getting the guns off the street and arresting the parties that are carrying illegal guns. I will tell you that our task force officers in 1 week's time frame, which was last week or the week before, were able to take 8 illegal guns off the street. They're working on something right now where they have also taken a gun off the street over on Highland Avenue. So we are very cognizant of what's going on, the concerns in the city, and we are cognizant of what the community is saying. I know Ms. Valle is one of our council persons for the East End and has expressed concern. We have details. We have had strategic enforcement details now for approximately a year without interruption, especially specifically on weekends and over the night shift, in attempts to conduct high visibility details and to attempt to sharpen our community policing skills, and we implement that as well. And so we are cognizant of these issues. I will request that when incidents are happening throughout the city in your neighborhoods, that you please contact the emergency center, the dispatch center, so that way we can have a running detail list of where certain items or certain incidents are happening and where we need to focus more of our attention to. I mean, that is a great help, because when we start pulling data or we start pulling information through trends, patterns, and clusters, which is our model, then we know what areas we really have to look at. So I will tell you also that we are in the middle of offering our police entry-level exam that's happening this month on the 19th and the 26th of this month. We had a total of 419 applicants apply within, I believe it was a 2-month, 3-month timeframe, which was pretty good, considering that we were pushing everything out at the same time. We also have a lieutenant's examination coming up in September for the police department. Then we will have a captain's test offered as well. In regards to weekends, this weekend, some of the different events that are happening this weekend is the Juneteenth parade at Seaside Park on Saturday, and the opening day for Caribe League. And we also have the boat show over at the Boca area. So there are a couple of events that are happening this weekend, and we are making sure that we continue with our special events details, and making sure that we try to have as much manpower as possible to effectively man these events that are being offered to the community. I guess an important note as well is the fact that we are going through our accreditation process. We're almost there. Lieutenant Cotto has been working tirelessly on that. We're putting out our informational to the city for review to our parties in the community. And also one thing that I want to let you know, and if you would spread the word, on the 29th of this month, between the hours of 5 to 7:30, we're doing a Zoom town hall from the police department, just sharing with the community different resources that are available to them, from substance use and mental health facilities to aid persons in the community, our Project Longevity team. We have our immigration detail or through Siri that helps parties with immigration status. We have the Center for Family Justice that will be on, talking about the programs that they have for youth and domestic violence victims. We're going to have our Project Longevity team on. And we just want the community to know that even in the midst of everything that's going on, we have many resources available that we are working in collaboration with to help the members of our community. So that is going to be the 29th between 5 and 7:30. We'll send out a big media splash on how you can connect, and we can have good conversation and at least have a platform available with different entities, even clergy. And then we could do a brief Q&A, or they can post any questions and we can get back to the community with answers for them.
Very good. Any of the commissioners have any questions for the chief?
Thank you, Chief.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, chief.
all. Thank
I know you've
you.
been busy. Thanks so much for your time.
Thank you so much.
Lieutenant O'Donnell, is there anybody from the union expected this evening?
I have not been notified if they would be attending or not, sir.
Okay. So we'll move along then. We also have the report from Internal Affairs that was emailed to us by the lieutenant. Unless there's any questions regarding that, we'll move to the clerk's report on the status of pending matters.
So I am working on for two cases, 18I-114 and 174. I have dates of July 13th, 15th, and the 22nd right now. The other dates that we discussed, we're just not able to, confirm those dates. I'm waiting back to hear from one other party, the union, on these dates. I'd like to possibly book August as well for the first 2 weeks regarding this case, if the July 13th, 15th, and 22nd dates do not work out. Can I proceed with that for Tuesdays and Thursdays in August?
Yes.
Everybody okay with that?
Yes.
Okay.
And I will be making deliveries to you tomorrow of these two cases. And that's all I have right now on my my agenda and calendar, commissioners.
Okay.
Thanks, Lieutenant. Under new business, we have a request from Council Member Maria Valier to address the board regarding neighborhood ordinance issues. Councilman Valier, you still with us? Saw you before.
Sir, she was here and then she left the
Okay.
meeting.
Well, we'll give her the opportunity to speak if she comes back. Next up is a request from Mr. and Mrs. Frank Tate to address the board regarding a handicap parking sign request. And that's at 321B Granfield Avenue, Building 11. Mr. Tate?
Yes,
Yes, thank you for joining us this evening. Commissioners, this is a request that is actually on our agenda. We have a recommendation to deny the request based on a parking lot being available to the residents, but Mr. Tate would like to say a few words to the board, and I'll turn it over to you, sir. Maybe you can explain to the commissioners why you feel this is warranted.
okay, I live at 321 Granfield, and I'm a handicap really. I can't walk but so far because I got bad knees and bad back. I got a place to park, but it's just so far away. So I need, from my front door to Granfield is it's not that far. So that would be better for me if I could just had a handicap spot to park there. And I park there now, but sometime when I come back, somebody else is there. So now I got to park farther away, so it just makes it, difficult to walk. So that's why I'm looking to get a handicap a sign up there. That's what I'm looking for. I have a handicap sticker, but there's no sign on the street, for.
How far is your walk from the parking lot to your door?
It's about, I would say it's a good,
You don't have to be too precise.
it makes it's about I would say it's not a complete block, but it's pretty close to the average block, you know.
And you're looking for something right on Granville. Is your front door close to
Right, right.
the street there?
Yes, that's
Yeah.
what I'm.
Okay. And I looked up your address, and I didn't see a lot that close. If you're on Granfield facing your door, is the parking lot to the left or the parking lot to the right?
Yeah, it is a parking lot to the right.
Is it near the park?
Yeah, on the park side, yeah.
Okay. All right.
But that's a pretty good ways too.
I noticed that it is a bit of a distance. I have to agree with you on that. Anything else you care to add?
No, that's about it. Just see if I could get that parking lot. I try to get some little help through the VA. I'm a veteran, and I go up there about 3 times a week, sometimes 4, depends. But I mean, the walking is terrible for my knees and my back. And by the time I get there, I'm really winded, you know. That's why I look for something a little closer. There's some handicap parkings on that street, but it's way down on the corner of Success and Granfield. That's a way too far. That's a good block and something, you know. But that wouldn't do me any good, and people do park down there.
And how full does the parking get on the street?
How full is it?
Yeah, how full is it? Is it easy to find a spot? Difficult, or depending on the time?
Well, it's easy to find a spot after, say, 10 o'clock during the day. I guess everybody goes to work, but you got to be back there before 4 o'clock when they come back and the street's filled up. You know, like people get out of work. Some people work, and I'm retired. I don't work. But if I go out, I got to make sure I get back by at least 4 o'clock. Anytime after 4, then that's when I would get problems. I have to find somebody to park, and you can't park across the street in that private parking lot. There's a liquor store there, but you can't park over there. You can't park down farther because that's all private property.
Was it fair to say you're looking for a spot across the street, pretty much across the street from the liquor store there?
No. On this side of the liquor store, on my side of the street. I live in Building 7 on this side. I just need, and there's a big tree there. That's where I'm looking. I was hoping I could get a handicap spot there, somewhere right in there. That would be good. That would be closer to the house.
My apologies. I'm not too clear on it. You're looking for a spot which would be across the street from the liquor store, right?
Yeah, it's across from the liquor store. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Any of the other commissioners have any questions for the record? Commissioner Lyons is with us.
I'm not quite sure. I can't envision the location exactly, but my understanding from the engineering department's letter is that they're recommending that the applicant submit a request to the condo association. How easily is that process? You know, for a parking space that provides easier access. They're recommending, instead of making provision for the handicap side on the street across from where you are indicating, Mr. Tate, they're asking you to submit a request to the condo association. Is that something that that would happen much sooner?
I did that, but they said they couldn't do that because they would have to come through your, you guys that would have to okay that. So they couldn't do anything about it.
I
But
understand.
see, if on the corner of Success and Granfield, they have parking spots for
Mhm.
handicap. They have it. But that's long ways for me. I need one down
Closer to
Granfield.
your entrance.
Yeah, that's what I need.
Right, right. I understand. Okay, I don't have any further questions. I think, if they're requesting, if the engineering department is requesting that he submit a request to the condo association, obviously they see a need for it. They're not necessarily saying no, if
Okay.
they're proposing that he do that.
So if there was a handicap spot in the parking lot, would that necessarily cut down on your walk
No.
to your door?
No, that's a little bit farther than what I'm walking now
Okay.
because everybody's got their assigned handicap. I'm sorry, got their assigned parking spot.
It's assigned parking space. Okay.
Yeah, parking space, I would say.
Okay.
So that wouldn't help me in either because I'm moving farther away.
Okay,
Any other questions from the commissioners?
no, sir.
Would anybody like to act on this now, or would you prefer to further discuss this later on in the agenda?
When
I
we
think
get
we
to
should. You think?
Commissioner Diaz?
I think we should wait until we see the engineering report. I'm kind of, I'd like to take a look. I don't know if it's even feasible to kind of hold this off for our next meeting, just so we can take a look at it. I
It's
know
in our
the area.
packet.
I just can't envision how, and maybe get more information. Maybe if we submit a letter to the, or help Mr. Tate submit a letter to the condo association or something, if that's what it needs to be done, maybe they need to hear something from us, like in an official saying that it's, I don't know how that works. If it's on us to make the decision of it to have it or not, and not the condo association, then, we should find out if that's what it is. Yeah, if that's what it is.
As I understand it, would be the condos association has the option, or they might be it might be mandated for X amount of handicap spots. But it's Mr. Tate's issue is that the parking lot, even if a handicap spot is provided for him, where they could, the walk is still
It would still be in
pretty
the
substantial.
parking, it wouldn't be in front of his house.
Right.
So the only person that could okay one in front of his house would be us.
That's correct.
Okay. I mean, I wish I had a picture or a map so I could see where it is. I know the area, I just can't envision.
Well, I
Granby.
just think, Commissioner Diaz, it also indicates that it would take approximately 2 to 4 months to be completed. And I think tabling it to further investigate when we have the packet in front of us and we recognize that he is walking quite a distance to park in the garage versus right across from his entrance.
Mhm.
I mean, that's what the request is for. And if we were to approve that, that's not gonna happen overnight.
Oh, it would happen overnight?
It will not happen
It would not
overnight.
happen
It will
overnight.
still
Okay,
take
that's
some
what I'm saying.
time.
Yeah, it still
And
would take
so
some.
delaying this would just kind of
Only
delay it
delay
even
it
further.
more.
Correct.
I agree. Well, I'm up for a vote if you guys want to vote.
I'll entertain a
I'm good with that.
motion if you're ready. The one thing I do want to note here is that in the correspondence, there is a letter from Mr. Tate's doctor up at the VA in confirming his issues, why he would need a handicap spot.
Mhm. Yes, I see that.
Okay. And I'm sorry, Commissioner Diaz, you had a motion?
No, I didn't make the motion, but
Okay, no, I thought you were about to. I apologize.
I will. I'll make the motion to approve.
Okay. There's a motion to approve the request of Mr. Tate. Is there a second?
Second.
It's been seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Are there any opposed? Okay, so just to be clear, the motion is to deny the request of the city traffic engineer and his recommendation not to install. And we are ordering the installation of a handicap parking sign at 321 Grandfield Avenue.
On a side note, thank you for your service, Mr. Tate.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Tate. You're all set. Of course, it's I'm sure you heard that it's not going to go up overnight, but at least we can get the process started for you. Okay.
Okay,
All
thank
right,
you.
sir. Take
You're
care.
welcome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, going back to the request from Council Member Maria Valle to address the board. Welcome back, Maria. The floor is yours.
Thank you, and good evening, commissioners.
How are you?
I'm good, I am good. Just, again, I would like to address the issues within the East Side. Specifically, again, as you might be aware, there are ordinances in place where the residents, whomever, need to abide by those ordinances. In this particular problem is on 600 Hallett Street, which is a church. They've been there forever. They never had a problem. All of a sudden, the resident next door and someone has opened up an auto repair car shop outdoors. And they do all, I mean, I have pictures that I can put together and bring them, submit them anyway, so you could see what I am talking about. This issue has been addressed with health, you name it, and they've been hit with the concern. To the extent that now I know that you have before you a letter and a request from the church pastor asking for some handicap signs near their church, in front of their church, so that their elderly seniors that do attend church service on a given day would be able to park their car. The reason why that request, it is because this car repair shop person finds it, I don't know where they think they have the power, that they do. They even had a motor on the sidewalk. And again, making it ugly, and it is not welcoming. And they continue day in, day out. The police have been there. They have given them tickets, but still it goes on deaf ears. I do not know who to turn to anymore. I know I've spoken very briefly with Commissioner Roach about this. And again, there is something before you asking for some handicap signs posted in the church sidewalk. And I know that the engineer denied it. I do not know if you, if again, you guys have the power to overturn this. And I'm saying what I'm saying because just recently, the engineer turned down a request for a street light where it was obviously that it was needed. It was rejected by the engineer. And then it was said that the 137th reps seemed to muscle their way into certain individuals so that anything that is rejected by the engineer for whatever his reasons, that then we muscle our way. And I found it very offensive that even if someone in the higher up office made that comment, because I don't think that I don't feel that I have muscled anyone. I just come with the truth and the facts and the obvious that the east side, and again, I know that I've also heard that some commissioners have said that it's not everything about the east side. Well, I do represent the east side, and when there is a need and when someone makes a request, I do what needs to be done, and that is submit to the proper office. Whether you guys deny it or approve it, it's up to you. But I hope that, again, I don't want to hear it again, that it's not all about the east side from certain commissioners. But again, my presence here today is to please, if you do not approve or again, see what is needed on the east side, I don't want you to do it. Just, if you don't feel it in your heart, number one, and if you don't see it, that it is written, that it's obvious that there's a problem, and that those that have the power to make it happen do not do it, then please do not listen to what I am saying. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Maria. First and foremost, the issue with the repair shop out on the street. And I know you had brought that up. You had mentioned that to me. I driven by and I witnessed it myself. And I know there was some action taken, but these folks are still obviously still operating on Hallett Street. Is that correct?
Correct, they are.
Okay. And it's 7 days a week. There's issues there. Is that also correct? Okay.
Correct.
Obviously, there's a problem there on Sunday as well because it's affecting the church and the folks that go there. Hey, Chief.
Yes.
Chief, thank you very much for staying on the call. Would you mind weighing in on that particular issue, please?
Well, we have, when Ms. Valle brought this to our attention, we immediately put out the traffic division over in that location. We had them ticketing cars out there. We had them even speak to the parties that are responsible. And we had cleaned up the area, and it looks like maybe they have returned. We have also made it a point to do even traffic enforcement in that area based on the concerns that Ms. Valle has expressed on behalf of her constituents. So we have made many attempts. We have revisited. So, it seems like the persons that are at this house are going to continue to push the efforts, but we will continue. If this is still happening, we will continue to address it with the traffic division and see what other measures can be taken. In regards to the church, well, I know that they wanted clearing of the front of the church so that their parishioners can park, but technically the street is parking for everyone. So we can't just say that only parishioners can park in specific locations in front of the church. That we're not able to do. But obviously we will continue our best efforts to address the matters at hand that seem to go away while we're there and address them. And then as soon as we go to another area, it comes back.
If I'm not, can I chime in, Commissioner Roach?
Sure, go right ahead.
If I'm not mistaken, the state DMV department, the commissioner, has a power to send down officers who can put a padlock on any garage or whatever that's being used. They can actually make it so that the owner of the home or whatever it is, everything he has there, motorcycles, cars, everything, they can put on hold on all the movement of all those vehicles. I think it's just a question of maybe contacting somebody. I know that the legitimate dealerships would have a big problem because they can come in and close business right at that moment. If something's out of place, just say, hey, we're padlocking the door. We'll come back and let you know if you can or will ever open.
These guys are operating right in the street. though.
Clandestinely.
Yeah.
But I think that the same, when you have a state officer come in along with maybe a local police officer, says a big thing. I think I don't know, because I don't know who the onus would fall on, would it be the DMV department if they're operating with a licensed mechanic or without? I don't know how that comes into play, but if he's unlicensed, he's stealing money from licensed repairmen. And if he is licensed, then he must be operating in a manner that he's circumventing the system somehow. So it might be good to just have make a phone call or reach out to someone at the DMV commissioner's office and have them send down, or maybe along with Chief, one of our guys here locally, have them come in and I think the statement will be made. It may be a statement heard by everybody else doing clandestine type repairs.
Yeah, we can, I will readdress again with Captain Lugal, who, like I said, he was very aware of, and they were definitely working out there as a whole unit. So I will definitely address that this problem has resurfaced, and that he should take the next steps with the parties there and call the DMV commissioner as well.
Very good.
If I may, I just wanted to add, I forgot to add it prior. I know that last month, Ms. Martinez was on, and she was expressing concern about the issues at Grant Street. And I just wanted to let you know that we did address it. We went out there again with our task force, our COVID task force, and made multiple arrests at that same house that she was talking about. And we're going to continue to make frequent checks of that area and that location. And in regards to also the gun buyback program that we had this weekend, we were able to buy back 12 rifles, 28 pistols, firearms, 2 assault rifles. They turned in 3 BB guns and 1 cap gun. So I just want you all to know that we are actively out there. Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Great, thank you.
Councilmember Valier, anything else?
No, that is it, sir, for tonight.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much for joining
I
us.
wanted to address Councilwoman Valiant. First of all, I want to applaud you for, putting in these requests and any changes that need to be done on the east side. I wouldn't be concerned about hearsay, because it's all about the facts, right? And so if you had 10 requests in 1 month addressed to us, for our attention, then that means you're doing your job. And so, and so I applaud you for being concerned for your constituents, your community. And so don't worry about, it's not about the east side. Who cares who said that? It's not about the north end, where I live, or the west side. It's about the facts. So thank you.
Thank you.
Very good. Okay. Next item on the agenda is a request from Lieutenant Cotto to address the board regarding the review and approval of 2 department awards. Lieutenant, good evening.
Good evening, Commissioners. Thank you for taking the time to address the award program. I originally had 6 awards, but 4 of them got vetted by the awards committee. We have a new member on the awards committee that's a second shift supervisor. And most of those incidents, he was actually present for to kind of debunk the officer being put in for awards. I guess they necessarily weren't what they were portrayed to be. So the program is working, and we are trying to save the award recognitions for the more serious officers that deserve them. So it doesn't take away from the importance of receiving a departmental award. I'm going to start off with the first one. Do you want me just to read them all and then vote together, or do you want one by one?
I would suggest doing that.
Okay, I'll go through all of them. So the first one is for Officer Kevin Cugini. Officer Cugini responded to the area of Madison and Jackson. There was a party down on the ground. Officer Cugini, I can never pronounce his name, went to administer aid. He found out the guy wasn't breathing and had no pulse. So Officer Cugini began doing chest compressions. Fire department arrived on scene and assisted, and they were able to keep this guy alive. He was transported to the hospital and the guy lived. This was absolutely amazing. If you ever done chest compressions on somebody, within like 20 seconds, you're completely out of wind and completely tired. But he hung in there, and they were able to bring this guy back to life. So this is absolutely amazing. The second one is Officer Rondell Jones. And Officer Jones responded to a call on Kent Avenue. It was attempted suicide. Officer Jones couldn't get inside the house. He had to force entry inside the house. And when he kicked in 2 doors, he observed the female hanging from a ceiling fan. She had a belt around her neck and was trying to commit suicide. So Officer Jones was able to remove the belt and keep the person who was irate and combative alive. The medics came and transported the person to the hospital. So for both of these awards, both officers are being put in for the Police Meritorious Service Medal. So I'm asking for a motion to accept these awards.
Very good. Unless there's any questions or comments, I'll entertain a motion to approve these 2 awards.
I'll make a motion to combine the 2 and accept them.
Motion's made to combine and accept. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any
Thank you.
opposed? Okay. Thank you, Lieutenant.
Thank you. And I'll
Motion approved.
definitely send out an invitation when the chief is going to hand out these awards.
Thank you.
Very good.
Thank you.
Some good news. We have one other item under new business. There is an addendum where we had a request from Council Member Amy Marie Vizzo Panicia to address the board regarding a traffic request for slow speed, school zone, school crossing signs on Anton Street in front of St. Andrew's School. Lieutenant, that request has been forwarded already to the city traffic engineer?
Yes, it has. Council member is unable to attend tonight because of a meeting she has scheduled.
We received some, there's a communication from her that the commissioners should have. You could look at it at their leisure. We expect something probably from the city attorney's office, or excuse me, I'm sorry, the city traffic engineer's office, possibly next month with a recommendation.
So I will facilitate a follow-up email, but it is 2 to 4 months
Okay.
for normal requests.
Okay. If you could follow up and let the city traffic engineer know that the board would like this expedited.
I certainly will.
Okay. We have nothing under old business. We have another addendum under correspondence. The Commissioners, you'll have received something from the Bridgeport Guardians that was sent to us under number 7, letters of appreciation. We have nothing. That doesn't mean our
You mean in our packet, Commissioner Roach, or was that through email?
that would have been through the second email.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
The hard copy.
Nothing under letters of appreciation. We have item 8A, a request from Mrs. Barbara Zwali to receive a widow's pension effective immediately. And this is a Plan A person, so we'll be reconvening as Plan A shortly. Lieutenant, everything is in order?
Yes, it is, Commissioner.
Okay, entertain a motion to approve the request of Mrs. Wally to receive a widow's pension.
So moved.
It's been moved. Is there a second?
Second.
It's been seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that's been approved. Next is a request from Mr. James DiPietro Jr. to receive a regular Plan B partial pension effective July 8th, 2021. Lieutenant, everything's in order?
Yes, sir. This is an individual who resigned and who is vested rights to Plan B and is approved to receive this after July 8th. So.
Okay. Entertain a motion to approve the request.
So moved.
It's been moved. Is there a second?
Second.
It's been seconded. All those in favor? Any opposed? Okay, that motion carried. One last bit of an addendum, item 8C. This is a request from former officer James O'Neill to receive a regular Plan B partial pension, also effective on July 8th. And this is the gentleman who was officer who was terminated by this board a few years back. I don't know if a couple of the commissioners may remember. He had moved to San Francisco while he was out sick and injured, and not only took the department test there, but passed. I'm assuming, Lieutenant, everything is in order on this request also.
Yes, and this would run through legal in the city attorney's office, and everything has been approved on their end as well. And all of the paperwork is in order in my office.
Okay, the obligation is still there then. Entertain a motion to approve the request.
I was on mute. So
Oh,
moved.
okay, it's been moved. Is there a second?
Hello,
Is there a second?
guys.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
And seconded by Commissioner Diaz. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Are there any opposed? Okay, all right, the request has been approved. Next is the request of the city engineer, or city traffic engineer, to approve the following traffic requests. We have 3 handicap parking requests, stop control, and a do not block driveway request, which is for 600 Hallett Street, which is the church that Councilperson Thalia was just speaking of. I would entertain a motion to combine those 5 items under 9A and approve if that would be the pleasure of the commissioners.
So move. I would do that.
It's been moved. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Are there any opposed? Okay. The items under 9A have been approved. Next are the request of the city traffic engineer not to approve. We have a total of 6 handicap signs on the agenda. We have already voted on, I'm sorry, total of 6. We voted on the 5th on the Greenfield Avenue. The others all have off-street parking. The first 2 would be a driveway. The handicap signs on the 4 handicap signs requested for the church on Hallett Street, they have a parking lot. The request on 137 Linden Avenue has been withdrawn. Is that correct, Lieutenant?
I'm not aware of that, Commissioner.
Okay. I'm sorry, I read that somewhere, but we'll leave it on the agenda nonetheless. And the last item, B, under 9B, Roman numeral 6, Brook Street, there is a driveway available there. I know in the past, commissioners, we've allowed applicants to produce information for their landlord does not allow them to park in a driveway, and we've we've acted accordingly. We can, if we deny these and or I'm sorry, if we approve the request to deny, we could always revisit if one of the applicants comes back and can show that they don't have access to the off-street parking.
And Commissioners, I do see Linden Avenue was withdrawn. My apologies.
Okay.
Thank you, Lieutenant.
Okay.
I'm just gonna
And-
comment on that.
Regarding the 4 handicap parking signs that were requested in front of the church, Lieutenant, maybe you could address this as well, but we're talking about a request for 4 signs that would, one, they're not in front of a residence, which is kind of goes against how we operate in these matters. But also, if we allowed handicap parking signs, they would be 7 days a week, not just for Sundays. And so that's the request is not one of our normal ones. Let's put it that way.
No, it is not.
Okay. Commissioners, I would.
want to understand, Commissioner Roach, it's not the norm. So are you insinuating in favor of no handicap parking spaces as a result?
Yes, actually, that would be my personal recommendation. It's not something that's done. We've our requests deal with residences pretty much exclusively.
I understand. Just
Okay,
wanted clarity.
sure. Unless there's any objection, I will entertain a motion to combine items 9B, Roman numeral 1, 2, 3, 5, and 6, seeing that 4 has been withdrawn, but combine those items and approve the recommendation and request of the city traffic engineer, which is not to.
Danny,
Yes.
Commissioner Roach, number 5 though, we reversed that.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're absolutely right. Yeah.
We voted on
I
that
apologize. That's already been approved. My apologies. Let me. I would recommend a motion to combine those items and approve the request of the city traffic engineer.
I think you were on mute, Commissioner Roach. I didn't hear exactly. You're referring to B1, 2, 3, and
And 6,
6.
yes.
Okay. Thank you. So
Is there,
moved.
there's a motion to that effect? Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Are there any opposed? Okay. Unless we have something further regarding regular business, entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Is there
Second.
a second?
Second.
Made and seconded. All those in favor of adjourning the regular meeting signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay. Regular meeting is adjourned. The board reconvenes as the trustee of the Police Relief Fund Plan A and B. Roll call of Plan A and B officers. That would be, I almost said Commissioner Diaz, but right now we are the trustees. So Hector Diaz,
Here.
Anna Cruz,
Here.
Edwin Farrow,
Here.
Tom Lyons,
Here.
and Dan Roach here. Okay, first item on the agenda is a request from Mrs. Swally to receive a widow's pension effective immediately. Is there a motion to approve?
So
So
moved.
moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion has passed. Request of Mr. James DiPietro Jr. to receive a regular Plan B partial pension effective immediately. Is there a motion to that effect?
So moved.
Is there a second? Come on, guys. Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, any opposed? That motion's has passed as well. Entertain a motion to adjourn Plans A and B.
Commissioners, may I? To
Please.
interrupt. So we also have the third item is the addendum for Mr. James O'Neill to receive a pension.
Okay. That is correct. The addendum for James O'Neill, is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
There's a second.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That has been approved.
I
Motion,
just have one
anything
other
else?
item for clarification before we adjourn, if I may, Commissioners. So we're combining 9B, 1, 2, 3, and 6 to approve the recommendation of the traffic engineer to not install.
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
4 has been withdrawn and 5 we approved. We
Correct.
approved the request. Yes. Okay. Okay. Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We are adjourned.
Take care.
Night,
Thank you,
everyone.
guys.
Good night.